Hey guys, it's Leah and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be discussing the film Us and a lot of questions that you guys probably have after viewing the film. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe down below to see more videos, and also make sure you check out my film review of Us. Now you may be asking, why am I making two videos on Us? And that is because in my film review, I wanted to give an overview of the film without going too far, tell you guys what I thought about it and what worked. And in this second video, I wanted to answer many questions that you guys probably had or didn't understand about Us. A lot of these questions may include, of course, the Bible verse Jeremiah 11:11, the concept of the tethered other, and also how this film fits into different genres and how Jordan Peele made that actually work. So without further ado, let's get started on answering your questions. Director Jordan Peele's latest film, Us, actually focuses on the term doppelganger, which is a prominent feature in Gothic literature. For those of you guys who don't know, I am an English major, and one of the courses that I actually studied in is called Gothic fiction. When I say Gothic fiction, what I expect most of you guys to think of is perhaps Edgar Allan Poe or some Transylvania vampire. While this may not be incorrect to think of Gothic fiction, when I am talking about Gothic fiction, I am mainly talking about the origins of British Gothic fiction and its conventions as set by the founder of Gothic fiction, Horace Walpole. While I could go on forever about this genre of fiction, its conventions, and what they are into greater detail, I believe a quick Google search would fix that for you guys. What I'm most concerned about is the convention of the doppelganger, or the other, and how it fits into this film, Us, which actually might give you guys a deeper meaning of the film, or an understanding, or even some insight into what it actually means to have this tethered other, as they are calling it in the film. Typically, the doppelganger is showcased by many popular novels such as Frankenstein or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. If we actually take a moment to separate ourselves from what Hollywood has turned Frankenstein and Hyde into and what it actually means in the conventions of doppelganger, this is where we see parallels with the film Us and perhaps what Jordan Peele actually had intended when making the doppelganger. What these three things have in common, i.e. Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Jordan Peele's latest film, Us, is the concept of the doppelganger, or the repressed self, or otherness, that actually manifests itself into a separate being. If we take a look specifically at the characters Adelaide and Jason, this is undoubtedly true. The split otherness is explained in great detail rather late in the film in the dramatic standoff between Adelaide and Red, her other. In this standoff, it is kind of explained the concept of the doppelganger and the self and how they connect to each other, how they work with each other, and ultimately how they feed off of each other. In Jason's case, his doppelganger is a clear manifestation of what happens both literally and metaphorically when we play with fire, we get burned. While the film Us uses the concept of the repressed other, or more commonly known as the doppelganger, from the literary genre Gothic fiction, after overpowering her double, it is then revealed that Red and Adelaide are actually switched. That is to say that Red actually switched places with Adelaide. I swear the more I say her name, the more I say it wrong. But you guys get the point. This actually posits the question to the audience of then who is the real Adelaide or Red? And this is where the doppelganger gets even more serious, because the repressed otherness of a doppelganger is actually meant to be the same person, as I said earlier, manifested into a separate being. So it kind of gives you some food for thought of, is Red, who switched places with Adelaide just as much as Adelaide because she lived the majority of her life in a non-cloned human society, where in turn the original girl had to live her life with a bunch of clones. The film also takes on another popular literary genre called dystopian fiction. This is more clearly shown throughout the second and last part of the film, where it is revealed that the American government actually spent time cloning all of the American citizens and then left them in an abandoned project. And if you guys remember what was said in the beginning of the film by the underground railroad systems and the mines, etc., they actually abandoned these clones. If you guys are still watching this video, perhaps the biggest allegory and reference in this film is actually scripture from Jeremiah 11:11, which reads, and I do have to look because I don't want to botch it if I just try to say it verbatim to you guys, because it actually is really important to us. And so yeah, I'm going to look down and read that. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them. This actually references the moment of the fall of Babylon, when Jeremiah's people are breaking their covenant with God. Now, you may ask yourself, why is this important to the film, and why is it referenced over and over and over from the beginning to the very end of the film? This symbolism actually works various ways within the context of this horror film. First of all, if you were one of the very few in the theater that were able to recall verbatim or vaguely remember, like I did, what this scripture actually meant and what it was referencing to, you kind of had this ominous foreshadowing of what was to come throughout the entire film. It also gave a deeper meaning to the dystopian aspect of the film, which was the Americans cloning their citizens and then abandoning them. For those of you who had to rush home after the film ended and look up the scripture, it actually provides an aspect of the unsuspecting. You were unaware of the deeper implications until you were finally home, thus taking a piece of the film home with you, and it leaves you to ponder the question, is evil upon you and you are unsuspecting? The last thing I want to wrap up this video of something that you may not have considered when watching the film Us is the scissors. What did the scissors have to do with anything, and why were they actually so important? Now, if we're looking at the doppelganger being part of the same person but split, and then we're also looking at what they are calling these people, or the tethered, you may remember that the only way for them to take over is to kill and overpower the other with scissors. Now, you can look at the surface level and say, okay, if something is tethered, you have to cut it in order for them to be separate. Or if you are connected to this other being, you have to kill it in order for you to be your own separate entity. I just think that it's really interesting that they chose to call them tethered and that they had scissors, or two separate parts that work together for a whole, if you want to look at scissors that way. If you really want to overthink it, you can also think about that. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of the underlying meaning to many of the elements in Us that you may have missed. I definitely enjoy that Jordan Peele incorporated a lot of elements from Gothic fiction, which is the doppelganger or dystopian fiction, and even things from scripture, Jeremiah 11:11, and how that incorporates into our understanding of the film and the overall meaning. As always, make sure you subscribe down below for more videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys!